A board member, we're okay to take questions now?
Well, ask the debaters. Are they done or do they want to have questions?
I'm happy to take questions. I could talk endlessly, but you don't want that. So I'm happy. Whatever you decide is fine with me. I'm sure both of us are capable of answering your questions.
Well, I would like to say, I would like to give, in fairness, 2-minute final closing. All right? Closing? What?
That was the...
Oh, closing goes after. Okay, sorry. That's why I'm consulting. A little convention over here. So, okay, so I'm gonna Grace had her hand up, and then Marcy, and then Janice.
Oh, okay.
Would you like me to film you while you're doing that?
No, I'm good. It's all right. You don't need to see me. You just need to hear me. But Kenny needs to move over. Okay. Thank you both for coming and debating this. I came here with an open mind. I wasn't sure which way I'm going to go. However, Diana did an outstanding job in saying why we should have a constitutional convention. No offense to you, Mr. Dinowitz, but you basically told us that we're not strong enough to handle it, we're not smart enough to handle it, and we're too lazy to move on with what we start. That's basically what you said by telling us that's my opinion. So this is basically a statement. I think we should have a constitutional convention at this point because we're basically at the mercy of elected officials who get money from all these big people that you're talking about. I mean, you didn't mention George Soros, who backs the progressives and liberal parties. Okay, George Soros has the Koch brothers.
Can we put him on my fundraising list? Because I'd love that in the pen.
But the final thing that I want to say is that a friend of mine and colleague always says, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. We don't want to be on the menu anymore. We want to be at the table.
You know it.
Thank you.
Well, let me, I don't think most of you are, or probably virtually none of you are, what did you say, lazy, stupid, and something else? And that's not what I said.
Well,
however,
it was implied.
No, you inferred something which I did not imply.
Well,
there's a difference. But let me finish. You know, everybody, if you don't like your elected officials, and most people seem to like them, but not everybody, you have an opportunity every 2 years to elect different state legislators, every 4 years to elect different council members, every 2 years to elect different Congress members. Now, it's true. Incumbents generally have an advantage. Why do we have an advantage? Well, I'm out there virtually every day for long hours, meeting constituents, dealing with their problems. Now, I don't think any of you are my constituents tonight, but I came here because I was invited and I thought it was important. But we do have a built-in advantage because we are out there. When you do your job right, that's the big advantage incumbents have. And more often than not, people who run against incumbents, they decide, 10 minutes before the election, I'm going to run and I'm going to be elected to something. Everybody has the right to run. I have not, I've been fortunate. I haven't had primary challenges over the years. Maybe I will in the future, I don't know. But
I can't afford it.
Every 2 years, everybody's on the table to be either defeated or re-elected. It's up to you.
True.
It's up to you. It's not up to any one individual. It's up to you. And if you don't come out to vote, I'm sure that people in this room come out to vote, but I can tell you that the voter turnout is appalling. And while, yes, there are things we should do, we should have same-day voter registration, we should have early voting, and these are bills, by the way, in most cases that that the Assembly has passed and that I've co-sponsored. We've co-sponsored bills for campaign finance reform. But getting something done in the Assembly does not make something into law. It has to be passed by both houses. It has to be signed by the governor. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you the reality. So I support all these things, but making voting easier, my opinion, there would still be huge numbers of people who don't come out to vote. Even in the highest voting state in this country where you have the early voting and you have the same-day registration, I think Minnesota might be that state. the turnout is still much, much less than in most countries around the world that have elections. So this is not a phenomenon that is peculiar to New York. This is something which is true throughout the country to one degree or another. For whatever reason, people in this country, at least too many people, don't think it's important enough to come out and vote, to go all the way out, sometimes across the street, to fill in the bubbles. It's not that hard. People should want to do it. People should be enthusiastic about doing it, but they don't always do it. But we should do all those things. But there are many ways we can get things done. And one of the ways is, if you don't like your politician, kick him or her out.
It's not that easy.
Thank you,
It's not that
Sam.
easy.
Ms. Finch?
Can't.
I don't think that you should diss the voters. When an election is really important, when it seems like it's something that can change their lives, the voters come. In the 2008 election, the Obama election, the lines at the voting poll sites were out the door and down the block. People came to vote because they thought it could change their lives. I think that that's what's going to happen with the Constitutional Convention, because it's going to be about basic rights. That's what people are going to campaign on. That's what the voting is going to be all about. The voters will come when there are no obstacles to voting. Last spring, there were dozens of bills in both the Senate and the Assembly to make voting easier, to give us rights that they have in many other states, even red states. Did those bills pass? No. Did they even get out of committee, many of them? No. Some of my friends went to lobby Mr. Dinowitz, and he didn't always give them the answers they wanted on passing these simple voting reforms. Many people don't vote because it's perceived as too difficult. There are too many obstacles. They've gone to vote once, they've turned away, they're not going to go vote again. They don't have confidence in the elected officials. They don't vote. I don't think that you can blame the voters. When there are major issues, our basic rights, people are going to